All right, we do want to take you live now to Michigan, where state legislators are holding a hearing on election integrity. Let's listen in.
For K, as in Karen, all absentee ballots need to be in a sealed container, approved by the County Board of Canvassers. Isn't that true, sir?
I don't think that is true. No.
Isn't it also true, sir, that the containers must be approved by those canvassers for a reason? Isn't that true, sir?
For a reason? I don't understand the question.
Why would the Board of Canvassers have to approve the containers in which the ballots are sealed in? You're an expert in this law, I take it, are you not?
These are ballot cans that are used after ballots are tabulated.
Did you say ballot cans?
They're cans and containers.
Yet the ballots that were brought into the TCF were transported in plastic trays, as your testimony indicated, with cardboard over the top of them. Were they not?
That's correct. That's
Even
correct.
the training manuals.
As law allows.
Even the training manual says they have to be canvas bags with seals. Were these sealed or unsealed, sir?
They were unsealed, and there's
Thank you.
nothing to require them to be sealed.
What is the consequences of violating election law, sir, for cheating on election?
Well, you'd have to go back in the 900 sections and take a look. I don't have that at the top of my mind.
Well, what about chain of custody? Is that on the top of your mind? Is there a chain of custody that the ballots must be brought in when they are brought in from an outside source?
I don't know what you mean by outside source.
Your testimony when Senator McBroom questioned you was that you didn't know where these ballots came from, you didn't know how many were there, you made a call to, what was the gentleman's name you stated?
George Jesus.
George Jesus, and when George Jesus and you spoke, he said there's generally between 3 and 350 in each tray, but he wasn't there to see that, is that correct?
He was there loading the truck.
What truck?
The van that brought them over.
That church right there don't want to tell nothing.
As I testified,
What
on
a
West
ass.
Grand Boulevard, which is their headquarters.
Is West Grand Boulevard where all the ballots were counted?
No,
What was West Grand Boulevard used for then?
West Grand Boulevard is where the city clerk's Department of Elections is located.
These people are
Michigan
arrogant.
Constitution Article 2, Section 41H allows qualified voters to request an audit. Is that not true?
As provided by law, yes.
It ensures that the accuracy, meaning the qualified voter has a right to ensure the accuracy and the integrity of an election process. Is that not true?
As required by law, provided by law, yes.
The undertaking of a audit for purposes of accuracy and the integrity of election process, who undertakes that duty? Is it the Secretary of State? Because I'm not sure.
Well, I should look at 168.31A, that would tell you.
Who is that, sir, that you have that readily
Smart
available?
ass.
Who is it then, to the best of your
The
knowledge?
Secretary of State and the county clerks are involved.
What is, we were talking, I didn't know through your testimony about verifying the signatures. And you said, if the ballot's received by the clerks and it's brought in to the TCF center, is there an assumption that the signature was already verified?
I think my testimony was pretty clear, sir. I showed you a picture of a ballot envelope where the clerk had to sign that the signature had been verified.
Okay, so if those clerks
Listen
didn't
up.
sign the ballot
Listen to the question.
verifying, and the ballot was brought to the
And
TCF
the
center,
answer.
unsigned by the clerk, verifying the signature, could that ballot still been have counted? If those clerks didn't sign the ballot
Listen.
verifying and the ballot was brought to the TCF Center, unsigned by the clerk verifying the signature, could that ballot still been counted?
As I also testified, and I guess I will clarify to help you question, nobody signs any ballots.
Did you?
Also testified, and I guess I
Why
will
does he go
clarify
talking
to
about
help you
ballots?
question, nobody signs any ballots.
Nobody
You
said they
just said
did.
the clerk did, didn't you? Oh, the envelope, sir.
Sign the envelope.
Envelope, okay.
It's a big difference.
I understand. So let's talk about these precincts that those ballots came in from. Your test.
Nobody asked him if anybody signed the ballot. Now, you go back and listen to this video. That man specifically asked him if the envelope wasn't signed, could the ballot still be processed? And he backtracked on the question.
Testimony here was today that you weren't sure what precincts those ballots came in from, but you knew that they came from the West Grand Boulevard Center, correct?
I would not agree to what you just
This guy's a
summarized.
jerk.
Where did those ballots, other than West Grand Boulevard, was those precincts, those ballots from that were brought in at 4 a.m.?
Well, first of all, I guess I have to explain this. They don't come from precincts.
Well, apparently you weren't there, were you?
Oh, we're gonna go there. Okay, no, I wasn't.
Okay, so you don't know where those ballots came from other than what you were told.
You're correct.
This is what we're up
And
against.
you don't know how many there were in the van.
I do not.
And you don't have any special knowledge or certainty of how many ballots there were.
Well, I do not.
Isn't it true as what George told you?
Yes, I would rely on the Director of Elections.
The chain of custody, is that not very important on determining whether or not the ballot should be counted or not counted?
Not sure what chain of custody you're referring to.
Did you learn chain of custody in school and evidence?
Let's talk about
I'm asking reality. Did you learn chain of custody as it relates to evidence?
I certainly did.
And that chain of custody is supposed to be consistent, and it's supposed to be trusted, and it's supposed to be continuous with what's the start of something and the ending of something.
This is what we're up against, people. Total defiance. Deny and defy.
There's a chain of custody by election law, and to my mind, that was adhered to.
How is it adhered to if you weren't the one that actually was present during all those steps I just said?
Well, I guess there's nobody that can answer that question.
Miss Jessie Jacobs, do you know who she is?
I do.
Did Miss Jessie Jacobs and you have an encounter on November 3rd?
I don't know what you mean by encounter.
Were you present?
Oh
Did
my
you talk to
God.
Miss Jacobs?
I did.
What was the nature of the discussion?
The nature of the discussion was about what work she was performing.
What was she performing?
She was performing the work I described, correcting a clerical error.
Got to drag it out of.
Did you subscribe that work to Miss Jacobs, or was she there as a washer, poll washer?
I was not her supervisor. I did not subscribe any work to her.
Okay. Do you know who did?
No.
Did she show you something that day, sir?
Yes.
And did Mr. Daniel Baxter also see what she showed him?
I believe so.
But who is Daniel Baxter, so we have his name for the record, that you know who he is?
Daniel Baxter is the former Director of Elections.
I couldn't hear you. Could you repeat yourself? Mr. Chairman, I couldn't hear him. Director of Elections?
Director of Elections in Detroit,
Okay.
and I believe he now works for the county executive.
He works for Mr. Warren Evans?
I believe so.
Did she bring a ballot to your attention, or a few ballots to your attention, sir?
I think a couple ballots, yes.
Why would they be looking there?
Excuse me, I'd like to correct that. A couple of envelopes.
Okay, couple of envelopes. Why would Miss Jacobs bring a couple of envelopes to your attention?
You'd have to ask her that.
Did Mr. Baxter bring it to your attention, those envelopes that Miss Jacobs had?
No,
Why are you involved with determining something on some envelopes?
I was asked a question and I answered it.
What was the question you were asked, sir?
One question dealt, I think, with a signature.
What about it, sir?
She didn't think it agreed.
Didn't match.
What's your response?
My response was, I looked at it and I said, well, I think it does.
Did you say, quote, it looks good to go, that's fine? Quote,
Good to go.
I don't believe I said that, no.
Oh, you
did
a
Miss
liar.
Jacobs sign an affidavit, if you're aware of?
I think she did, yes.
Did you read her affidavit before today's testimony?
Not just before today's, no.
Did you read it at all?
Yes, quite some time ago.
How many other affidavits did you have the opportunity of reviewing?
I don't know, 100, whatever.
So you've reviewed 100 affidavits. Are you saying that those affidavits are not truthful?
I haven't said that.
But if they're truthful and the allegations contained therein, do they violate the election law as you see it today, the Michigan election law?
You're asking me to make a statement on 100
Your
different
opinion.
affidavits?
Sir, I'm asking you to give your
Well,
opinion.
Senator, I think I would say that I've never said that the people were untruthful. I have said that I don't think they understood what the procedures are. And there's a big difference there.
That's what they always say. That's what every one of these criminals say. That is avoiding the damn answering of the question.
You're
If
familiar.
somebody writes it in an affidavit, doesn't make it accurate.
Did you remove, I'm sorry, not you, did you witness poll challengers being removed from the TCF Center?
I only saw perhaps,
I never asked you the question how many you saw. Did you see or observe poll challengers being removed?
yes,
Okay? What were the circumstances they were removed from the TCF Center?
the ones I saw was not wearing masks and taking photos.
Were they replaced to keep the same number of challengers in the building? Yes or no?
I don't know.
Did it concern you that they weren't being replaced?
I don't know that they weren't replaced.
At the time you were, well, they were using the electronic poll book, were they not? They were doing the supplemental poll book and found, was the QVF separately to verify the absentee ballots?
As I said at the beginning, the QVF was not used at the tables. So the answer is no, and the qualified voter file is never used to verify a ballot.
How many voters do you recall? I mean, I don't know if you have any recollection off of memory. Do you recall how many voters were actually registered to vote in Wayne County?
Wayne County? No.
Do you recall how many votes were cast from the election in Wayne County?
In the entire county?
Yes, sir.
That is around 850,000.
Okay. What is the remedy when a protocol has been breached?
Depends, I guess. People can file a complaint. The Secretary of State has the authority to investigate the conduct of election. So that's where it would go.
And as far as if the chain of custody, and I keep bringing that up, and I know that there is a chain of custody under Michigan election law, but if the chain of custody has been violated, Are you aware of what that remedy specifically is?
I don't think you'll find that written in the election law because it doesn't exist.
Thank you. Kevin.
Thank you, Vice Chair Lucido. Mr. Thomas, could you elaborate a little bit then on this, what appears to be some dissonance regarding the law that talks about sealing and containing the ballots, the containers or the cans as you call them, versus why you don't think that that applies to the transportation of the ballots from the headquarters to the absentee ballot county board?
Because 764.5 and 765A tells the clerk to retain the ballots safely. There's no specificity in that law. You know, it says until the seals are open. When they talk about seals in that law, it's the adhesive seal on the envelope. Wherever ballots are required to be put into a ballot can or container and sealed, the law specifically states that. And if you read down into those two sections, you'll see that at the end of the process, it tells them, workers, to put them into ballot containers. This is all misreading of law and trying to extrapolate definitions into something that doesn't exist. Now, we have our first statute dealing with drop boxes, right? That you all passed in October. You put some requirements in on them, cameras and whatnot. You didn't add any type of chain of custody within the clerk's office. Those are all clerk employees that are handling those ballots. Should a law be passed to do that? That's up to you. It would not hurt anything, make people feel more secure. Certainly there could be laws.
Thank you. So would you say that there is a vulnerability during the transport of the ballots, because they've already now had their signatures verified, they're being sent to the counting board? Is that a vulnerability in the system? Because they're not going to re-verify signatures except the clerk's signature at the other end.
Well, no, I mean, the people in the satellite, the verified, they're the ones that sign that. I don't know, I mean, you talk about ballots disappearing. I don't know, I think it's worth looking at. I'm not gonna say that there's a big vulnerability, like moving it from one floor in the office to the next. It's a transportation. They're not voted ballots, they're not unsealed from the envelopes. You know, if you wanna try to do a law that specifies the ballots that go into a bag that's then sealed and then unsealed at the other end, that would be a tight chain of custody. It's not there right now.
Okay, thank you. Follow, but
Just a real quick follow, I'm trying.
Thank you.
I have some follow-up now because I had a chance to just get the computer out, Mr. Thomas. Ballot secrecy envelope container, what do you believe a ballot secrecy envelope container is?